Okay, now I think I've got everything. I'm pretty sure. Am I ever really truly sure that everything's working right on these streams? No, absolutely not. But we're gonna hope that it is. We're gonna hope that it is. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. I am so glad you could be here today. I am, as always, your master of ceremonies, the Richard. Welcome in, guys. I have no idea if anyone's gonna tune in or if YouTube will even bother recommending this stream to anybody. It's been a few weeks, and I've been telling myself I'm gonna get back to streaming any day now, but to be honest, I finally kind of reached a point where I'm at my new job and things are going really well. Yo, oh shit, T, yo, what's up? Welcome in. I was just saying, I finally reached a point at my new job where, like, I'm actually starting to get kind of bored and I need new things, so I need to start getting back to painting. I was like, I had this sort of epiphany moment last night that I still have all these projects I haven't finished, and boy, you know, now that work is going well, I need to get finishing them. Oh my god, if I can stop dropping my miniatures for like 5 seconds. So let's get to it. Oh, I gotta find all my supplies first because they're scattered all over the place. I also made sure not to announce this stream ahead of time because generally, if I announce that I'm going to be streaming ahead of time, that almost guarantees I'm not going to make it. Now, these guys, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to finish up their skin, which is going to involve some of our Vallejo Deep Yellow. You can see what we've been doing with these so far, trying to get tracings on the muscles. Yo, Hephaestus, welcome in. No, your eyes do not deceive you. I'm finally back. I made sure not to announce this ahead of time, because if I announce I'm streaming ahead of time, that almost guarantees. It almost guarantees that I'm not going to make it. But yeah, welcome in, welcome in. I'm glad to see you guys. Alright, let's just go ahead and get started here. I am ready. Well, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Much appreciated. I'm happy to take primes, though, if you still have yours lying around. I have no idea how consistent this was going to be. I got up this morning, well, it was last night, and I was like, you know what? I keep putting this off. I keep being like, you know, well, there's going to be a better time to stream at the end of the week, or I should wait until my day off, but you know what? Whatever. There's always going to be a reason not to. And I'd like to just go ahead and get started. Let me get the painting handle, because I think it'll help with the... Oh. I'm going to grab the painting handles, because I think it'll help with the... what's it called? Autofocus. Keep it from trying to focus constantly on my hand, instead of the actual miniature. How's the job been? Pretty good. Actually, boring. It's really good. I forget, Captain, if you were here when I talked about this, but it's been, I'm a security guard at a hospital, and it can be a little intense some days. Like, it's not one of those security jobs where you're sitting behind a desk, at least most of the time. We've been in the middle of this massive snowstorm, though, so even the hospital itself has been pretty freaking slow. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the job. I like the guys I work with. It's super conservative, which I did not realize going in, and it's been a bit of a 180. Ooh, yeah. Oh, already that looks great. How close can I get this with the autofocus that will keep it in focus? You guys are going to have to, like, let me know if the focus is really, really bad or not. I'm hoping this is going to help. I'm trying to save up for a new camera, but I've got some other things on my plate right now. I need to get something in 4K, but a good camera. But if I'm going to get something like that, I'm going to spend like $4 grand. It's going to be insane. We'll see. But yeah, the job's going well. I like it. The money's pretty good. And I hadn't really anticipated this when I first got to the job, but it's a job where I have a lot of transferable skills. And working at a hospital is very transferable. You know, so I could... So I hadn't anticipated this, but it's a job where I could, in theory, take these skills and take the resume building and take it to another city I might want to move to. And I've been considering moving out of Illinois for a long time. Everybody's considering moving out of Illinois. Tackle old people. That's correct. That is correct. We try not to tackle them if at all possible, but yeah, most of like the behavioral assists, the calls we get, stuff like that, 9 times out of 10 turns out to be some like 80-year-old man who's just angry because he's a fall risk and the hospital doesn't want him getting up and accidentally hurting himself and, falling down. You know how old people can be. And they'll cry about how you're taking away my independence. Like, yeah, we kind of are, but like, you're a fall risk and we don't want you getting hurt, so you can walk around as much as you want as soon as you're out of the hospital, okay? We just don't want the insurance liability. But, then there are the times where you get like a large drunken biker in the ER who's on like fucking bath salts or some shit and you gotta wrestle him to the ground. Those days certainly happen too. A little more rare, but not infrequent. But yeah, I'm really liking it so far. Like I said, I like the guys that I work with. They're a really cool bunch. I like the environment. It's cool being on like a campus setting, for a hospital. Like a campus setting that's not school related. It's everyone's there to do a job. It's like everybody, you get to meet a lot of different people doing a lot of different individual jobs, but they're all doing a job. It's not like you're on a campus where everyone's trying to prove how great they are and telling you about their fucking university paper. That's sitting on the university server being read by has been read by 4 people ever. It's pretty cool. I really like the setting. I like the... Yeah, that's it. I really like the job. Oh my god, this is so specific. I'm trying to get his fingers underneath here. Oh, come on. Okay, if I can even get a dot on there. I'll take it. Keep that. I may just need to, settle for the knuckle. You know what? That'll be good enough. That's good enough for his fingers. Bodyguard for the king in Dubai. That's pretty fucking badass. Keep it up, brother. Keep up that gun training too. Hit the keep hitting the range every single day. Oh boy. Here we go. Okay. Well, I'm going to call the fingers good there. I'm not worried about them. Nice. Keep it up. And stop flipping cars while you're at it. I don't think the king would appreciate having his car flipped over. Go. Get a couple dots on there. There we go. Oh, this damn autofocus is so bad. Ugh. I'll get a new camera one of these days. There we go. That. There. I'm kind of wondering what project I want to do after these. I've still got quite a few miniatures to paint, and they're going to take a while. And of course, Hephaestus's Game of Thrones minis, whenever they finally get here. But it's my fault that they're not here now, which sucks. But weekly, not daily, it's still pretty good. Here we go. All right. Right there. Are you satisfied survey? Well, sir, my package never arrived, and I was never able to get it back because you literally can't return to sender properly. So I'm not sure how you expect me to even be satisfied. I was serious about writing your senator, though, honestly. Like, if it's like a federal department gridlock thing and they're just being idiots and sending you off to the call center with the idiots who have no idea what the hell they're doing and just want to constantly tell you, oh, nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do, sir. If they just want to keep doing that, you may just have to write somebody and go above their heads. I really was serious about writing your senator. That might just be what you got to do. There we go. All right. Let's keep going here. How big do I want this muscle in his back to be? That's a question. That'll be fine. Let's put another right here, there. There we go. There we go. All right. Look at that contrast. I mean, yeah, I know the camera's not great, but man, that contrast comes out so well. You can just see those yellow spots beautifully. Well, I'm pretty sure. Probably depends on how good my internet connection is, but that's the next thing I need to upgrade. With all my gear, my streaming equipment, I guess. Now that I have a little bit of money, which is nice, I can actually afford to get those things. But in order to get that money, I'm working 6 days a week, which has honestly been fine, but also has not left me a lot of time to think really at all. There we go. Oh, this damn autofocus is just terrible. Oh well. Did it help? Oh, hell yeah. Well, I'm only going to be on for maybe an hour or two. I actually have to be at work later today. I have to be at work in about 2 hours, so I'm going to be on here for maybe an hour or so, then hop back off. So this isn't going to be an all-day thing. This was an impromptu, I want to get some painting done and reconnect with my audience type deal. There we go. By the way, oh yeah, Hephaestus, by the way, hope the streaming is continuing to go well on your end. I saw you're still doing the finals. I hope that things are going well. Sorry I haven't checked in again sooner. But like I said, I am still working like 6-day weeks. Oh, and for anyone else on the stream, I did also have my hearing for my, I'm getting sued by Chase Bank over my credit card debt. It went swimmingly, actually. I just went in and said, yeah, I do owe the money. I'm not going to fight it. And we just set up a payment plan, and it was fine. It wasn't even all that much. So I'm going to be paying it off for the next 11 months, and then it'll be settled. I got a little bit of paperwork I got to do, but yeah, worked out well. Well, I mean, I wouldn't call it well. It's still unfortunate that I ended up in that position in the first place, but, it's going to get paid off. It's going to get done. I'm not going to have to worry about it too much longer. And I may even just pay it off early, to be honest. Okay. This left side's looking rough. Ooh, it is looking a little rough. 30, holy shit. Damn, bro, nice. Hell yeah. Get yours, brother. Get yours. Get yours. Go. Okay. You're gifting Hephaestus for his attention? Well, he's a good streamer. He's a better streamer than I was, especially with the video games, so keep gifting him. There we go. I have kind of come to a weird conclusion that I think part of the reason I think I'm just not like online enough to be a good streamer or content creator, man. I just don't know the internet drama. I'm never going to be a Brett Cooper, a Shoe on Head, Jamari. Why did I list the women first? That's so fucking weird. No, I don't know. I am going to start doing some book reviews. I've been reading a lot recently, which has been amazing. Mostly like 2 books because I stupidly decided to start with Stephen King, which are like 700 pages a piece. But yeah, I'm just not, I don't know, I'm just not chronically online enough to be a good, consistent content creator, maybe. I don't know. Like, I have a personality people want to watch, but I just don't have the subject matter, so my SEO is always god-awful. So YouTube just doesn't recommend my videos, and YouTube sucks. So I don't know. But I'm probably going to try to shift here, just focus more on stuff that I like. Like I said, I'm going to do a few reviews on the books I've been reading. It's all going to be very low-key and basically no editing whatsoever, because better content, yeah, that too. But I don't have the money or time to do that sort of editing. I will not spend the time and money on if you want to build up an audience like they did in 2026, like, you have to start out delivering that sort of editing, and you have to do it for 6 months, getting 0 views. giving that sort of editing on an almost daily basis, that sort of work and time, or money if you just pay people to do the editing for you. And I have no interest in doing that for 6 straight months, getting 4 viewers per video, until eventually the algorithm blesses me. I just have no interest in that. That thumb looks absolutely god-awful. Oh my god, that's awful. Oh well, whatever. Let's leave it for right now. Let's get the fingers at the front. Yep. Yeah, I just don't have the time or energy to do a lot of complex editing right now. Or to spend time researching exactly what YouTube wants me to make videos about. I don't want to be a fucking SEO expert. I don't. I have zero interest in being a young social media guru, fucking edit it, fucking, whatever. Do that for free. You edit? I didn't know you were into video editing, Captain. If you are, that's fucking awesome. It's a good skill to have in 2026. Well, not that you're probably worried about getting a job later, but it is a very, very good and transferable skill, so I recommend everybody that I can get into video editing. It's also just like a cool outlet. I don't know. I'd love to start a show or something like that, but I'd really have to have some kind of... I didn't know that. Hey, if you want to talk about doing some editing sometime for me, we can talk about it. Like, shoot me a message on Discord with any examples of your work. Hell yeah, we'll talk about it. But yeah, maybe if at some point I can put away enough money to do like 6 months of a show, you know, take a sabbatical from work or something and just work on that for 6 months. Just make shows every day and edit and do all that. Maybe without the stress of, you know, being unemployed. If I can put away that kind of money, maybe. We'll see. I wouldn't mind. It'd be cool to have a show. Not even because, like, I don't know. Not even because I'm necessarily... I don't know. Whatever. Let's just focus on these miniatures. I'm messing up here. This thumb is just getting... His fingers are just getting butchered. Actually, with the extra bit there on the end, you know, it's not too bad. That thumb behind the shield, behind the banner, didn't turn out too bad. Not too bad. I'll take it. Still got his fingers on this side. There's a little bit here. Just real quick. Just need to get on there. It'll do. His fingers are kind of squished together, but they probably would be behind that banner anyway, so that's fine. That's alright. I'll take it. Just got to get his legs now. Let's get these. Here we go. Oh, I do want to talk a bit about what's going on in Minneapolis, though. I was kind of surprised when I asked Hephaestus exactly, you know, what kind of stuff he might want to watch or what, you know, be interested in hearing from me. And I was surprised when he said Minneapolis, because it kind of seems like the whole Minneapolis situation, I mean, it seems like everybody knows what happened. Like, not to oversimplify it, I guess. I had a note about this. I had an actual note that I wrote down about this when I was kind of thinking through everything. Oh, yo, Snug, hey, good to see you. Yeah, the ice apocalypse up here in the north, yeah. It's, doing alright. And the painting is going very, very well. I still desperately need a new camera, but whatever. That's another day. Oh my god, stop throwing your paintbrush. Oh my god. There we go. Yeah, I'm doing alright. I was just going to talk about the Minneapolis situation where it's just getting tense. Several immigration officers have been... Actually, Captain, as someone who's not in the United States, I would be curious what your opinion of Somalis is. I have to imagine that being in that region of the world, your opinion of Somalians is probably very different from Americans' opinions being across the world from them. But there was a Somalian population in Minneapolis, Minnesota, who got caught performing this really blatant scam to get money from the federal government of America after having come into the country, I think most of them legally. That's one part of it. Yeah, there's that's yeah. You know, it's reignited a lot of tensions in between the two halves of the United States' current political spectrum, where the right is vehemently defending the ICE agents who have been acting, quite frankly, in my opinion, like just absolute unhinged cowboys going around. But they are also doing genuinely good work in some regards, like, you know, capturing migrants who were scheduled for deportation years ago and never showed up. In some cases, they were scheduled for deportation because they committed actual crimes and just never wanted to leave America. So they didn't. And the Biden administration never bothered to hunt them down because, you know, according to Wall Street bankers, when you invite third world immigrants into your country, line go up. And that's good enough for most of America, I guess. But on the left, they have been adamantly defending the Somalians and saying how anyone who criticizes them and anyone who criticizes anyone who's not 100% on the side of the Somalians, despite the fact that many of them were committing fraud, if you have any critiques of them whatsoever, you're automatically a racist, which, you know, if you know anything about Somalia, is I feel like there are some fair critiques of the culture of the people who live there that are worth having. But, you know, it's a really sad situation. Yeah, I don't blame you for getting stressed out watching the news. I'm going to try to keep this as, like, G-rated as possible, because I really don't want this, I don't want this stream to be, like, a true debate. I really just want it to be, like, let's just talk about the facts of the situation. You can come to your own conclusions. Undoubtedly, ICE are acting like a bunch of cowboys and overstepping their bounds. Undoubtedly, being completely uncritical of the Somalians is ridiculous. Their country has fallen apart multiple times because they can't get their act together, and many of them came here to America looking for a free ride, like, objectively, and they should be deported. That's ICE's job. Yeah. I don't think that either of those are particularly controversial statements. The economy of America worse. I don't know if I would swing all the way back in the other direction and say that they're making it objectively worse. Well, I mean, the ones who are getting millions of dollars in money while not actually for businesses they aren't the ones who are committing fraud, yes. The ones who are committing fraud are objectively making America worse, because fraud makes any country worse, you know. You know, when it happens on a large scale or even a small scale, fraud is bad. There are those who are genuinely hardworking. The problem is that when they came in the first place, they were just completely unvetted. If you want to see a really interesting... Yes, this is Warhammer, actually. This is from Age of Sigmar. Aren't doing anything. A lot of them live off of welfare. I mean, yeah, but... You see, Captain, this is where I start to have some reservations, because 80% of them, no, 80% of the Somalian population in Minnesota is living off of welfare. It's like 80%. And so, I mean, you figure at least a few of them actually need it. Maybe they're disabled, maybe they're struggling, I don't know. But, you know, so you got to say maybe at least 60% of them are just straight living off the government, in which case they are making America worse. 100%. You know, 60% of them are just straight living off the government, let's roughly say. But that does still leave a few who are here and working hard, and I'd like them to stay. The problem is that the immigration situation being what it is and the debate around it being what it is, Americans themselves are almost completely incapable of having a nuanced conversation about what's happening in Minnesota and about what's happening with this Somali population. And that, I think, is the true tragedy of what's happening. Oh, where was that note that I put out? Yeah, it's really pretty pathetic. There's definitely a way in which the left has swung, has like shot the moon and come all the way back around from defending. Um, the left started out like trying to defend the Somali population because because a lot of the people on the right who are criticizing them are racist, and yeah, that's probably true. But there's a point at which your empathy shoots the moon and the left just verges into racism of low expectations, And you've seen a lot of that with the immigration debate in the United States right now. Oh, these poor, stupid brown people who can't start their own countries. We have so much here. They need to be saved by me, a white person. I can save the Somalians. No, and that's the left's problem. The left has completely lost their fucking minds and gone straight racism of low expectations, thinking the poor, stupid brown people can't run their own country, so they all have to come here. And it's allowing those same brown people who are smarter than them to just abuse the system. And that's sad. And that's coming from a brown person, not that you can tell from this camera angle. Here was the note that I wrote. I was really trying to parse out my thoughts, and I summed it up in 3 lines that I think are interesting. Here is what I believe. This is what you believe. Let's fucking kill each other. I think that pretty much sums up where the two sides are. White girl talk. I mean, it's a lot of white women. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it is a lot of. It's strange in these protests that are being held to support the Somali population of Minnesota. We support our immigrants. You never see, it's mostly white women who don't know anything about politics other than what they watch on CNN. And B, you see barely any African Americans there. Like African Americans as in like the descendants of formerly enslaved people, or really just any African who's been in America for an extended period of time, who was born in America. Anyone who is black and born in America. You barely see any of them. Just Somalis and white women. And the reason for that is that those of us, speaking as a black person who was born in America, these Somalians are making us look bad. These Somalians make us all look like a bunch of welfare-munching ingrates, and I'm fucking tired of the left defending them. I really am. I really am tired of the left enabling the worst of the worst in terms of the black community over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. This is exactly why Malcolm X said that the white liberals were so much worse than the conservatives, why they were the greatest threat to the black community, because they just continuously enable the worst of the worst actors. With color, if they want to push their own narrative, that is true. And I think that both sides that's where I think we are in Minneapolis right now. Both sides really are just performing racism in their own way. And it's, more than anything, it just makes me sad. Left wants to be white savior, right wants to deport the foreign dirty thieves. Yes, Hephaestus, I would 100% agree with that. It's really sad. It's really sad. And it's sad because I don't like any of the political actors either. Like, again, ICE are acting like a bunch of crazy people. But at the same time, like, fucking Tim Walz and Jacob Fry, fucking Timu Justin Trudeau, the mayor of Minneapolis, have both been, the both of them are whipping these suburban moms into a frenzy. And those two idiots both should be held accountable for Renee's death and for that nurse's death. Tim Walz should be held responsible for his death as much as ICE. Why are you telling people to go out and harass federal agents as the governor? Why are you describing federal agents as the Gestapo and then acting shocked when your own people get killed? Like, what is wrong with you? How do you have so little regard for your own people as their governor? You're telling them that it's a good idea to go and harass federal agents over and over and over again, and then expecting nothing to happen. And then when they die, you use that as an excuse to get more of them to go out. Fuck Tim Walz. That man should be in fucking prison for getting these people killed, just as much as the ICE agents. Actually, I would say more. At least the ICE agents reacted in the moment. At least there's a crime of passion defense there. My God, but Waltz, this is premeditated. This is ideological. This is pathetic. Fuck Tim Waltz. I can't believe he was almost the vice president. Like this. What a fucking travesty that would have been. The man who was almost the vice president is now describing federal agents whom he almost had the chance to command as the Gestapo after he lost the election. Gee, I wonder if there's any secondary motivations for why he hates the Fed now after he lost an election. I wonder if there's any other reason why he's mad at the federal agents that he almost got the chance to command. It's just sad. Yo, Azure, hey, good to see you. Sorry, you caught us in the middle of talking about what's going on in Minnesota in the United States right now. It's good to see you, bro. It has been a while. I've been working at this new job, and things are going really well. And I'm finally to the point where I'm bored, I need a project, and I need to come back to streaming. I'm enjoying it. I like talking, and I like painting. So, hey, let's do it. Ooh, and I like my coffee. Forgot about that. Still at work? What do you need a job for, bro? Jobs are lame. Don't work jobs. No, I'm joking. I'm only going to be on for about an hour today, but I'll keep hopping on sporadically through the week. I'm not going to put out any kind of official schedule because I think we all know that if I put out an official schedule, it's going to immediately be abandoned. The worst thing I can ever do is schedule things because as soon as I do that, it's going to be... As soon as I schedule things, that pretty much guarantees I don't show up. So I'm just going to play it by ear for right now. Here we go. Here we go. Ooh. Now I mixed this paint way too watery. This paint is way too... Look at... Oh my God. Man, this autofocus is just a travesty. Okay, hang on. I want to switch to manual focus here. One sec. Okay. There we go. Okay. It's not the best, but it'll do. Let me see. I can get a zoom in too. Oh, no, this paint is just not gonna work. Oh, there's too many bubbles. There's bubbles in it everywhere. Yeah, that's just not gonna work. Let's also get a little bit of zoom here. There we go. Alright, that should be significantly better. Still working on things. It's my first stream back in a while, alright? Still kind of figuring stuff out. You're working until 1:30 in the morning? Oh my God. What are you... Alright, well I don't want to ask personal information on a stream, but man, hope whatever job you're doing, they're paying you very well for it. That's all I will say. Okay, and let's use some paint that's not horrendously thinned down. There we go. Get these cheeks. These chubby little goblin cheeks. Your friend has chubby little goblin cheeks? I mean, hey, to each their own. Let's see. Ah, shoot. I didn't mean to get that on his nose. Oh, well. These lips. These luscious, luscious lips. Love those goblin lips. There we go. Okay. There we go. There we go. I didn't mean to connect those two. Oh well, it'll do. It'll do. Okay, this needs to not be connected. Get way in there. Okay. Way back in there. Hunt Showdown, nothing wrong with that. Hell yeah. Let me know if you got any mods for that game. Modding that game would be hard as fuck, it seems like. Oh my god, I can't imagine the amount of time and energy you have to spend just to make one weapon skin for that game. Go. He's turning out a bit choppy, but it'll do. Okay. Oop. Yeah, I gotta work on those cheekbones. That nose. His nose is so much bigger on the other side. Those chubby goblin cheeks. Get him. There we go. Let's see about getting down there. Oh, how in the world did I paint this before? Trying to match up the two sides is always kind of a crapshoot. There we go. Alright. Go. There we go. Oh, yes! I am down to play some multiplayer Zomboid. I gotta figure out when. I don't know. Like I said, I'm terrible at scheduling. We'll figure out a time. We'll play at some point here. I am eager to get back in the streaming game, so we'll do it here soon. There we go. And it seems like on Twitch there's a real hunger for some new talent, which is always good. There we go. And that's always a good sign that it's a good time to get started. Feels that way on YouTube too, but YouTube just does not want new people breaking through at all. Unless they're wealthy enough to pay for tons and tons of YouTube advertisements. That's basically all they really care about at this point. There we go. That's way too much paint. That's way too much paint to get that crack. The back of his neck. At the very least, I need to finish up this gentleman before the end of the stream here, before I wrap up. And maybe get started on the basing. We'll see. Can I get that? Yes! Grab the train. Okay, can I get underneath there? Close enough. Good enough. Man, my hands are shaky. I have had way too much coffee to be doing this. Way too much coffee to be doing this. Okay, come on. Get right at the corner. There we go. And drag it across. Get that crease on the back of his neck. Oh, damn it. Damn light's glaring. It's hard to see. Right there. There we go. Alright. We got it. We got that crease in the back of his neck. Woo! This is a 00 brush, by the way, in case you were wondering. We're working on some very small stuff right now, which is part of why I need that better camera. Yeah, if you guys have recommendations on cameras, by the way, always feel free to send me those, either on Discord or put them in the comment section or in the... I would say in the chat too, but chat logs get lost. So, I might not be able to get that information. Or, like, retain it. But I always take recommendations on stuff like cameras or equipment, because I could use it. There we go. Oh, that helps a lot, actually. A couple dots under the jaw. Use voice changer, girl avatar. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, I could just become a VTuber and get a female avatar, turn into fucking Hero High. I could, I guess. I have seen so many fucking YouTubers, so many YouTube videos where I turn them on thinking it's like some... Well, I mean, it is. Like something about some drama going on, an iDubbbz video, a Hassan video... And then it's a dude's voice coming out of, like, an anime girl. And I'm like, what the fuck? So many times now. which, like, I'm grossed out, but I'm also like, good on you, I guess. Good job. Like, you're making money. It's like, I can't knock it. People are watching. So, I don't know. Guess I can't knock it yet. A little bit gross, though. But do you, friend. Anything that makes money is fair game, as we say in America. I don't know, that kind of sounds like a cheap excuse, like the anime fans who say, no, 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 she's not a 12-year-old girl, she's a 1,000-year-old witch. Sounds very anime. I don't know. I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon, but I appreciate the suggestion. And again, I won't knock those who are able to make a living doing it. Good on them for making some money. Good for them. I think I'll just stick to my painting. Besides, painting content has actually been really popping off here on YouTube quietly. Like Warhammer content hasn't necessarily been popping off in the same way, but like painting content, art content in general, like has been quietly growing. It's been growing somewhat ironically right alongside the trend of people wanting to get off social media in general. There's been a simultaneous trend of people wanting their social media feeds to like provide something of value, which is good. Hey, maybe YouTube will recognize mine one day. I hope. But think about converting dwarf art into a VTuber, add it to fate. Honestly, you should do that. Turn it into one of those turn it into like a Nicholas Diorio style, like little chibi avatar of like a fantasy dwarf. That'd probably do super well. That would probably get you some good views, honestly. And it wouldn't be that hard to put together, I don't think. I wouldn't think. Like, yeah, work with an artist who could do something like that. I think it would go over well. The scars here are always a little bit hard to do. Oh no, I just botched that. Just botched that. Damn it. I just botched his stomach like a bad plastic surgeon. Okay. There we go. At that arm. Oh, off camera. Whoops. We just got the inside of his arm. And there's his. What is with his arm? No, he doesn't have a metal arm. He just has a weird band on it. Okay. His arm is very straight. Unlike those VTubers. There we go. That around that thumb. Try to do a little better with the fingers than we did last time. Well, than I did last time. Oh my god, where even are his fingers? It's hard to see under all this like deep wash that they have. That deep blue that I put on there. How much time do I have? Oh, I got 15 minutes. I gotta finish this one. Gotta finish this one miniature. Come on. And I wouldn't mind doing some basing, but I don't know if I'm going to have time for that. That's fine. There we go, a couple dots right there. Ought to do it. That'll get his arm finished up. I'm actually going to try to connect these. Let's go around. And up on top. How do I want to do this? Let's start with the fingers and go back. If you couldn't tell, I'm not trying to actually create like a proper musculoskeletal structure. in these guys with this yellow paint. I just want to make it look good and interesting and vibrant. That is always the goal, more so than any sort of realism at all. Realism is never what I go for, ever. Nor should any good miniature painter. You're not going for realism. Or if you are going for something close to realism, you still want it to be elevated to some degree. There's no point in painting things in red and green and blue and crazy colors if you're not going to do something more interesting with them. That's the lesson Hollywood can't learn with all their movies. There was this great quote from one of the original creators of The Little Mermaid, and he was a big producer during the Disney Renaissance, where he said that the entire point of animation is to ascend to heights that live action never could. Somewhat ironic looking back on it now, given how Disney has fetishized the idea of, making a live action remake is you're making like a real movie out of it, Enjoy CSGO, you're good, man. I'll see you later. But yeah, it's almost like this sense in which people say, there's a sense in which Disney seems to think that you're making it into a real movie when you make a live action remake, and that's just objectively not true. The whole point of animation was to ascend to heights live action never could. And yet here we are thinking that we're doing something new or interesting, where that animation needs to be validated by being put through the lens of live action. Especially ironic given that most of the time live action ends up being some form of CGI. It's just very unfortunate to see. The level to which Disney personally and Hollywood in general have fallen. The failure to understand art in any way. And, most Hollywood studios have struggled with that throughout their existences, Their businesses. They're not art factories. That's not their job. Their job is to make money. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with, their job being to make money. But, then they start to think that they're the only ones who can disseminate art, that they have that exclusive privilege in the age of the internet. And boy, is that not true anymore. There was a point at which everyone battened down the hatches. I'm about to say something good about AI. As much as there was a time when Hollywood studios had that exclusive lock on high-budget films due to, the expense of things like CGI and the tools and the specialty skills required that you could only get from a union, other things that just made it objectively expensive. But that's just not true anymore. Between AI and the dissemination of many of these tools, you can download a lot of the same tools that Hollywood CGI artists use on your regular PC and run them on it. Well, I mean, if you can get good components these days, thanks to AI. Sort of ironic for it to bite me in the ass on the backswing, but you get the point. It's just not true anymore that they have a monopoly on the tools required to make a high-budget film. And then, of course, you get into things like micro-budget films and the fact that you can just, go out and film things. I don't know. It's an interesting time we live in artistically. We haven't really gotten to a point where artists can really succeed on social... I mean, social media is just in a really weird place in general. Art is in a really weird place in general. I don't know. How much do I want to say here? I don't want to say too much. It's going to just show my ass. I also don't want to sound like some bitter YouTuber who's just mad that I'm not getting enough views. Social media doesn't support artists. God knows YouTube does not need another one of those. But I do think social media is really struggling to... actually there was this one funny moment. I'm subscribed to some newsletters for small YouTubers through YouTube, like the YouTube community creator newsletter or whatever. And it's mostly like just super fucking cringe, but I do still read it because I just find it interesting to see what YouTube thinks of new creators and what YouTube thinks the main struggles of small YouTubers are. I love the way those two pieces lock together. I love the way that looks. I need to do that more. I love seeing what YouTube thinks the struggle of small creators are, because it's usually very far off from what the struggle of small creators actually are. And yeah, I think I just showed the whole hand there. YouTube doesn't understand what the struggles of small creators are. Most of it's just getting seen in the first place. Most of it's just even getting in front of your audience in the first place. And that's the biggest part of it. It's rather sad. You know, even getting your own subscribers to see your work is objectively difficult, which it shouldn't be if YouTube wants to pretend to be a platform for artists. Oh, that was what was funny. I remember now. There was a point at which... That's much better. YouTube was describing how we're a platform for artists in their super cringe newsletter. And there was one point where they were like, how your use your YouTube metrics to measure how far your art has come and measure yourself as an artist. And I was like, the day that I use my YouTube metrics to decide how good of an artist I am, fucking kill me. Fucking shoot me in the face. The day that I use YouTube analytics as a measure of my success as an artist. Dear God. As if being seen a lot on a platform that has an algorithm you have to appeal to as opposed to making actually good art. As if that determines your worth as an artist. Oh my God, YouTube. So fucking cringe. Has no idea what the fuck they're doing. No idea what each hand is doing. This platform just has no idea what the fuck they're doing. But, you know, Twitch seems to be trying to promote smaller creators, especially as a lot of their older creators are aging and kind of cringe at this point, you know? And the political era of streaming is really starting to drop off. People really don't want the politics as much anymore. They want opinions, sure, but they don't want to have YouTubers or Twitch creators defining their politics for them, being leaders in the political activism sphere. They don't really want that anymore, at least from what I've seen. You know? Oh, that's so much better. Check out those fingers. Look at that definition. Trying to find where that... There we go. All right. Let's wrap up here. We just got his legs. Got both his arms. There we go. There we go. Go, 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 go. Hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. There we go. All right. I think that's it. That's that arm finished. Got a little bit of underarm here. You know what? I'm gonna leave that underarm. I think it looks good. It's fine. No one's gonna notice it. Oh, I need to get his ears though. I think I forgot the ears in the last one, but that's all right. I can come back and do touch-ups. I'm really just glad to have this skin is the part that takes the longest for obvious reasons. It's just very, you know, small detail intensive. I guess probably the best way of putting it. So it just takes a long time. But there we go. All right. Okay. God, we're so close. I'm so excited to have this done. Well, done would be a strong way of putting it, but I don't know, maybe it's symbolic of the return. I'm excited to be doing things. Excited to be working on projects for myself again. That'll be nice. There we go. I don't know. I wish there was a way I could work on projects that didn't profit YouTube or profit Twitch. I hate these companies. Profit Amazon. I just wish there was, to be honest, a place I could post my stuff where it wouldn't be, you know, YouTube wouldn't be running ads on it even as they refuse to promote it anywhere. Where in order to view my own content, just to see what I can do better, I wouldn't have to see that stupid Culver's ad for like the 50,000th time. I refuse to go to Culver's now just because I'm tired of seeing their fucking branding. God. So, good job, YouTube, on that. Go. That's perfect for his knee. That one can be a bit spotty. Oh, man, come on. We got one leg left. Let's wrap this up. Come on. We're speeding through it. We're speeding through it. Come on. God, Richard, you really can't half-ass anything, can you? It's always been your problem. All right, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on. Finish up this leg. I'm so ready to be done. I'm so ready to be done. Come on! Put away this yellow paint forever. Well, not forever, but you get what I mean. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do next, though, as far as painting. I've been wanting to do a Cities of Sigmar army for a while, but they haven't really released any good new units, to be honest. And I don't like a lot of what's there. I like them lore-wise, but man, a lot of their units are just not good. Like, their models are just not good. Games Workshop has really struggled with them, which is a shame because the other fantasy setting, which is currently the Old World, formerly Warhammer Fantasy, is really good. Is going from strength to strength, you know? So it's a pretty big shame that Warhammer Age of Sigmar is not doing super well in terms of... Hang on. Cities of Sigmar as a faction is not getting a lot of... I mean, it's getting a lot of love, but the models just aren't good. Like, sorry, they're just, like... They're really just not. But then again, I said the same thing about the Cruel Boys, and here I am painting Cruel Boys, and doing so in a, you know, just finding a paint scheme that works for the model, and that makes all the difference. I mean... This model is one that I would have said the same thing about, that it was just not good, because it's not. But, you know, you find a scheme that works and bring out the best aspects of it consistently. You know. And then you make something that's worthwhile. That's all you can do. And that's it. There we go. All right, that's the skin done on all of these. Thank you guys for watching. I am so glad you could be here today. I'll be back streaming off and on throughout the next few weeks at least, and I'll be figuring out exactly what I want to do. I'm not quite sure yet as far as my YouTube and Twitch journey, but I'm just making stuff for right now. So thank you guys for being here. I will see you.